Inspired by the fusion of Kaleidoscope and museum, Kaleidium is an innovative, dynamic, experiential learning museum in Winston Salem, North Carolina.
We chose to use the Kaleidoscope as our jumping off point for our name and our brand, was because the Kaleidoscope is an instrument of art and science. You can manipulate it yourself, and you see changing patterns and shifting perspectives. And that's part of what we want to do here at Kaleidium.
This massive project infused architectural composition, exhibit design, agency brand standards, and institutional goals to develop an enriching experience that sparks creativity and discovery with a seamless blend of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, the STEM disciplines.
Kind of a unique niche space for us to work within, where the architect was developing the structure, obviously the functionality of the building, and taking cues from the branding and a lot of the ideas from the Kaleidium team. And then the exhibit designer, who's creating all the galleries, was doing that. But with the common areas, that's where they needed us to come and help bridge the gap between the two.
First started working with Holt. We started out with branding and exhibit entrances, but once they implemented the 3D design, we were able to actually use their services to help us with the interior design of the museum. And we were able to choose the color schemes and look at how the floor would look and how different signage would look on the walls and where things could be placed, etc. And it really sped the process up in an amazing way.
3D model, we were able to take the architectural schedules and actually apply them to a model. Then in every meeting we would open the live model and explore the space and basically make some changes on the fly or show some adjustments.
One of the greatest things about working with Holt is that they were just right down the road in High Point. We were able to go to their site and see, actually do some design while we were standing behind the designer and changing things. And then they also were able to come here, show us samples, and it was just very easy to get everything done.
Definitely is one of the signature projects. I mean, it being a brand new building, 4 stories, 12 different exhibit spaces.
2 local museums combined to become Kaleidium.
When the Children's Museum and SciWorks merged and we became Kaleidium, we were never fully able to realize the brand while we were operating out of 2 separate locations. So one of my goals and visions was to really bring the brand to life in this new museum.
The more I looked at the brand guidelines and the color palette and the architecture, the more it started to kind of resemble some sort of space station. Each floor and how it's labeled by the level, and it has a big number. It's like another deck of a spaceship. A lot of you see a lot of like sci-fi modern brand styles, and they kind of have these angled stripes and simple fonts, and I think that's where I maybe drew some inspiration from while I was working on this project. But also the iconography that was developed by Roto, who developed the galleries themselves, kind of helped to inspire our piece of the project too. So we had a grid that we could work with to create any kind of mosaic that we wanted, and then we had a huge palette of colors to work with, which sounds like it makes it more complicated, but actually it gave us a lot more creative freedom.
Because I think the first meeting we were kind of talking about more exhibit stuff, and then I kept saying, I really want to work with Holt for wayfinding. So I think I just had sort of a very comfortable feeling that they would be easy for me to work with, and they got the whole brand thing. And so I wanted to make sure that the museum's hallways and everything did reflect the brand, but also tied into the exhibit areas. And Holt is who helped us do that. They totally brought the brand to life through all the work that they did, and I am extremely appreciative.
Honoring the legacy of donors for their generosity and support was an extremely important goal of the project.
The design inspiration came from being in Winston-Salem and Old Salem, and thinking about the quilt patterns, working within our brand with our brand colors and our patterns. The whole team worked very closely with a member of our development team to come up with the final look.
The donor wall had over 400 pieces between the front-facing acrylic and the back PVC substrate. It took a lot for the color matching, and then also for it to fit together in the fabrication process like a puzzle. It all aligned and went together well.
I actually looked at the donor wall once it was built with a kaleidoscope that I received at the grand opening, and It actually is pretty cool to look at it through there because it was meant to look like you were looking through a kaleidoscope.
Holt Experiential thoughtfully designed and fabricated the gift shop.
And that's where some of our exhibit knowledge came into play because we designed the gift shop to be a modular solution like you would a trade show so that you can pack it down and move the components and open the space. So if they want to expand it in the future or if they want to add more accessories to it, like it's a modular solution.
This is like you have taken a brand and made it completely come to life. It's like walking through a brand. So we're really excited, and we're really excited about what the future will hold. So it's just a really neat space for kids.